And now to our big story. When it comes to the crisis of homelessness, the spotlight is often on Portland, and for good reason. But some of you have asked us about the homeless in other parts of the state, and we've heard you. Our Tim Gordon went to Seaside and found there is a significant problem there.
Looking out over the Oregon coast at Seaside, you can see why people like to live here, but most can't. There is a severe lack of affordable housing.
Even for the people who want to get jobs here, we don't have enough homes.
Of course, many people like to visit. Seaside depends on tourism. It is also grappling with homelessness in the community, sometimes right out on the beach.
That must be a real balance, trying to, deal with a population that needs help, but yet also not hurt the economy.
It's really looking after people who are houseless or homeless, but also caring for people who are residents who have homes here and are often impacted.
We talked with Mayor Jay Barber and City Councilor Tita Montero. Montero is leading Seaside's effort to make things better after city leaders made homelessness a priority in 2021.
We started off with what are the needs of all these different groups of people? What are the needs of city workers? What are the needs of the people who own houses here? What are the needs of the people who are homeless?
Since last May, there have been a half-dozen community forums which helped form some key strategies. Some are already working here, involving more collaboration with residents, businesses, nonprofits, and police.
I think what happens in a larger city is the bureaucracy is so big, it's difficult to have those kind of ground level, how can we solve this together? And that's really what we're working toward.
In some ways, homelessness looks different here than in Portland. There are more small camps on the outskirts of Seaside, like this one off of Highway 101 south of town. But don't let that fool you.
Clatsop County has the highest number of homeless individuals per capita in rural Oregon. So we do have an issue.
Viviana Matthews is executive director of Clatsop Community Action, which spends most of its time helping keep people from being houseless. But this Helping Hands warming shelter, opened in January, is part of the strategy to help the unsheltered. Next, the plan is to have this space become a navigation and resource center in the non-winter months. Cheryl Paul is one of the nonprofit's 2 new homeless liaisons, making connections.
Sometimes it's as little as a pair of socks, but ultimately getting to know them, taking care of small needs with the goal in mind to work towards finding housing and then the steps it takes to get to housing.
To be clear, not all homelessness is hidden in the woods. Just north of downtown Seaside, there is a lot full of camping, and to the frustration of nearby residents, it's been going on for a while.
It was about a year and a half ago that Councilor Montero says homeless folks in old RVs started parking and living long-term along the Canicum Drive. Well, that was not allowed. No camping and no overnight parking signs went up. And some of those folks ended up moving over into a city-owned lot across the street.
Despite this being one of the neatest vehicle camps I've seen, city leaders know it cannot last forever. But one of the challenges for this small city is finding a place for a sanctioned car park like this.
We have so little land that we need to be working with private landowners. And that is one of the things, we're in some discussions with some private landowners, hoping to get some land to be used for managed car parks.
In the meantime, Seaside's police chief has added homeless liaison to the duties of the community service officer. And the city is reworking its camping ordinance. The goal is to give police clearer rules for moving people on while offering alternatives for where to go. Chief David Ham says that's an important start.
The problem for Seaside, I think, and some of our residents in the community who are complaining about this is the fact that we haven't really had any concrete policy and ordinances that are in effect that we feel that we can act on.
There are certainly differences from small cities to large. Seaside is finding that out as it finds its way through its homeless crisis.
Sounds like a lot of progress given that you just kind of picked this up less than a year ago. I mean, that's a lot of work.
But the wheels of government move slowly, and we're never going to be fast enough for a lot of people.
So we're trying to solve this with the kinds of resources and time that we have, but it is a challenge. We are not going to solve it, but we will be able to help make things better. That's our plan.
Tim Gordon joins us now. Tim, a big question. How many homeless are out there?
You know, Pat, we really don't know how it's been the last couple of years, the pandemic, how that's affected the homelessness at the coast. A new survey was done recently, but we're waiting on those numbers. We do know that the last point in time count in 2019 had Clatsop County with the highest rate of homelessness in the state, with 894 people homeless, which is 22.7 per thousand. Of course, Clatsop County includes Seaside, but also Astoria and Warrenton. Now compare that to Multnomah County at the time with 4,015 homeless, or 4.9 people per thousand. And with rural counties overall, the rate is 5.3 per thousand. So you can see there that Clatsop County really has had a big problem for quite a while.
And I know you were out there on the ground. Did you get a chance to talk to any of the homeless, and what did they tell you?
You know, the short answer to that is unfortunately no, not directly. In our time out there, we were not able to connect with anybody who was homeless that wanted to talk to us about it. As we said in our story, a lot of folks are kind of spread out in the woods, harder to reach. Our best shot was at this RV car park, and kind of the unofficial mayor there, a guy named Richard, wasn't home. We were hoping that we could speak with him. Apparently he does a big spaghetti dinner every Sunday night for everybody, so maybe not getting supplies for that. We'll go back for dinner, and we hope we could do that story in the future and talk to him.
Thank you, Tim. Always excellent reporting. We appreciate it.